The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Who is Aatu Räty, and will he make his family proud when he reaches his potential? You know, I had that conversation with my mom a few hours ago. I'm 32 and a half. I think Aatu Räty is like 22, so we're kind of different. But yo, what is Aatu Räty's potential? Okay, let's talk about it on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that is talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. One love to the Don't Doze Art Lab for giving us the space to give you this episode, and one love to Monarch Money, okay? They're helping us bring you this episode. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com. for 50% off your first year. And it's August 11th, which means we're close, like really, really close. And as much as I'm loving the summer, I've been having a good time. The drinks are flowing. The vibes are good. Homies are getting married. I'm getting older, like I said. Again, as much as I'm loving all of this, I can't wait till September. In fact, wake me up when September ends because, man, oh man, I miss hockey. And when hockey comes back for us over here on the West Coast, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Aatu Räty, right? That's the obvious, because there's so much opportunity. And I'm curious. I'm curious to see if, he's had a good offseason, you know, if he's fully healthy, recovering from whatever injury he did have at the end of last year. Again, if he's good and he's working hard and he takes another step like he did the last offseason, I think he got one hell of a player. And B, I wonder if Alvin and Rutherford, and this is a risk because Jack Roslovic is probably going to sign before training camp, but maybe they just want more intel on Aatu Räty before they make a decision like that. Because, again, I just think there's a player there. Aatu Räty put up a bunch of points in the AHL, okay? Improved on his numbers from the year prior with Abbotsford again. Did well this season when he was up with the Canucks. I think he had 11 points in a handful of games. Would have gotten to 30 in a full year. Again, was our best player in training camp. Again, and just got better and showed a base and showed comfortability and is 50% over in the faceoff dot, and just seems to be closer and closer to being a full-time NHLer. It's just a matter of wondering what that'll look like when he gets there, and how impactful he will be if he reaches his potential, because the Canucks need some home runs here, especially down the middle. Like long-term, can we ask ourselves the question: if Filip Chytil reaches his potential, who's a better player, him or a guy like Aatu Räty, who, again, reaches his full potential? I think that's a great problem to have. So, yeah, well, what is Aatu Räty's potential? That's got to be the question. We got Trevor Begg, second best dad in the world. Major announcement coming from Trevor Begg sometime in the near future about his future in general. I don't know if he has the time to do it. No, we're not going to do it today. I don't got the tissues. I don't got the tissues, and I don't got the champagne, okay, or the tequila. So we're not going to do it today. But again, Trevor Begg is joining us. Let's cut the emotional BS and let's just talk about hockey. Give me some comparables for Aatu Räty, Trevor.
Kyle Bowen, my brother, man. It's good to see you, man. That announcement is coming soon. It's gonna be an exciting fall for Locked On Canucks and Begsy and Bowen, man. That's all I gotta say. Comparables for Aatu Räty, man. Let's just start positive, man, because I'm on vacation. I'm drinking beer. I'm chasing kids around, man. Again, I might be here for 2 minutes. Might be here for 10 minutes. Who knows? JT Miller is the absolute ceiling for Aatu Räty. And we've talked about this before, okay? You guys are going to laugh or whatever.
Oh, my God.
Like, you look at their profiles, again, like just similar stories in terms of high pedigree draft pick. Didn't really work out in the first couple of years. Maybe didn't live up to expectations. But, again, Aatu Räty is a physical player. He's good defensively. He's good in the draw like JT Miller is, even if JT Miller didn't quite, start at center. But there are comparables between the two players at a young age, and I don't think people look at Aatu Räty and think that he is, going to be the next JT Miller. But man, oh man, he does have that ceiling to his game.
That's unreal. That's unreal to think about, because JT Miller, at least he had a first round pedigree. I know Räty for a long time had that as well. Projected top 5 pick falls to the 50th position or like the 52nd position to the Islanders. But again, when I hear those JT Miller comparisons, like I'm like, yo, I think they're ultimately at different talent levels when the potential is reached by the player. And we've seen JT Miller's potential. He's one of the best offensive players in hockey. I don't know if Aatu Räty will ever have those skills. And again, Trevor Beggs on vacation, maybe doing basic thoughts about the subject, right? Maybe not doing a deep dive in that internal mind of his, but when you do the initial search about who Aatu Räty will be, you hear a lot of, or you see a lot of articles written in like 2023 and sometimes in 2024. And yeah, that JT Miller comparison keeps coming up. I just don't think so, Trevor. That being said, if you want to have a debate about that, go ahead. Again, you cut out a bit, but I said that I don't see that because at their peak, I just don't see Räty ever really being like an 80-point guy or a 90-point guy. And I just think they're at different talent levels. And again, one guy's a second-round pick and JT Miller a first-round pick. I think that's way off. But I'll let you obviously argue here. I'd like you to be right, but I just don't think that's the case.
Well, I'll completely agree with you in the sense that, I don't think Aatu Räty has JT Miller's ceiling either. But the main argument is no one thought JT Miller was going to be an 80, 90, 100-point guy when he was 22 years old. Nobody thought that. Right. So again, I'm just saying JT Miller is the absolute peak for Aatu Räty, but there are parallels between them as players and as prospects. So, I mean, man, oh man, you talk about, the Canucks can't replace JT Miller. There is a sliver of hope with Aatu Räty now. In terms of more realistic comparables, another guy I kind of thought of was Barrett Hayton, which again, nowhere near as sexy as Aatu Räty. But Barry Hayden, again, high draft pedigree, infamously drafted ahead of Quinn Hughes. Thank you, John Chaika. But Barry Hayden, again, hasn't really turned into like a top five overall pick worthy player. But good defensive floor, some physicality to his game. He's now a 20-goal scorer at the NHL level.
Mm-hmm.
He is a guy that I think of as well in terms of who Barry Hayden or who Aatu Räty could be. Maybe just a top-notch, second line center.
Well, Trevor, you touched on this earlier, and I think it's fair to reiterate yourself when playing the comparable game. And again, just talking about the base. Okay, so Räty, good defensive floor, good skater, good at the dot. Those are like good intangibles to have with that pedigree of, once being a top prospect, being a second-round pick, and getting better and better every year offensively. And just at the game of hockey, like this guy will be a full-time NHLer based on what his base is. Now, what the potential is going to be, I kind of thought about it in a couple different ways. I was like, oh, what's the highest point of his potential? What would the medium look like? And what would like the floor look like? And I guess we'll start at the top. I look at guys like Anton Lundell and I look at William Karlsson.
Yeah. I thought of Anton Lundell too. And of course, like JT Miller, Anton Lundell, William Karlsson all seem wildly optimistic. But William Karlsson's another guy too, who obviously was a late bloomer, right? It took until he was drafted into Vegas. He's in his mid-20s at that point before he really busted out. No one thought William Karlsson was a second-line center, 40-goal scorer, even settling in as like a 25-goal, 60-point guy. So, again, that's the thing, right? You do never know. And if you want to go to the ceiling, I think Lundell and Karlsson are good comparables. Obviously, Lundell, was a 10th overall pick, and he's been a stud since he entered the NHL. There are parallels to his game and Aatu Räty's as well, right? Lundell, I mean, he brings the offense. He's on a good team. He's insulated there. But he's got a good defensive floor, wins a lot of draws. Like Aatu Räty can be that same kind of player. Anton Lundell is, I find, a bit more creative, a bit quicker. And that's what we're all waiting for. And that's really, I think, the big question for Aatu Räty is, can he start to keep up with the pace of the NHL? Not only that, but can he excel? Can he excel being, again, a top 9 center at least next season? That's still a huge question mark for the Vancouver Canucks, especially as currently constructed. But I mean, there is hope there just based on that defensive floor, that Anton Lundell-like game, bringing the size, bringing some finesse. So, I like that as the full as a ceiling for Aatu Räty as well.
Yeah, that would be like the dream-like scenario. And like, I think Lundell, like, again, he's quote unquote insulated in Florida. He knows his role too. Like, again, he's in like a 40-point guy, a 30-point guy, a 50-point guy. But overall, I mean, look at what he did this postseason. He was, was he like the 5th best center in hockey? Maybe. And let's, I don't know, expand on that just a bit. Like, if Aatu Räty can ultimately put himself in a position where he's an effective NHL player defensively and play, 17 to 20 minutes a night and give you 30 to 50 points and then save a lot of juice for the playoffs and be, solid in the playoffs based on that base we're talking about, the defensive ability, being usable, the face-off ability, the defensive ability, the skating ability, him not being afraid of physicality as well. Like he's in the fight. You could see it. He has a bit of bite in him too. Like there is a player here. And Trevor, like, this guy's gotten better every year. He should have had a setback. We've seen a lot of prospects. I mean, I feel a guy like, if you want to bring up Vancouver point of view from this type of logic that I'm trying to spew here, we've seen guys like Jan Sauve, former like first overall pick in Quebec, or what was that guy's name? I know it's got injuries, but it was like Tyler Benson or whatever for the Oilers, who used to play for the Giants, and these guys were like top prospect type guys, young in their career, but they fall to the second round or whatever, and they never really find it. Whereas for Aatu Räty, like he's gotten better with multiple coaches, and that tells me that his preparation is, at an all-time high. Like it's executing. He's around the right people in the offseason, and B, he's out there to prove some of the doubters wrong. So Aatu Räty could reach the ceiling. Now, let's say he doesn't reach his full potential, I still think that he could be 83 overall, 82 overall,
okay.
84 overall. No, like he could be Pius Suter.
I was going to say, I think Anton Lundell is like an 84 overall for me.
No.
You don't think so?
I think Lundell and Carlson, when they're playing at their best, they're like 86 overall. They're like effective players. I mean, again, Lundell was part of he had Brad Marchand with him, I know, but he was a top 5 center this year in the postseason. Back-to-back.
In the playoffs, he was like an 88, 89. But yeah, typical Lundell, it's kind of in that 84 range for me.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe if you probably played more NHL than me, like maybe I'm basing that off like NHL 2008 ratings. But let's say Aatu Räty still is an effective player, but doesn't reach the mountaintop. Let's say he's 82 overall. Okay, I still think there's a Pius Suter there, and maybe just a tier above Pius Suter is like peak JT Compher. Like just an effective player. Like he's gonna give you like 50 points, and during one playoff run, he's gonna be very, very, very good.
Yeah, and JT Compher is not a sexy player at all, and got a little overpaid in Detroit. But yeah, he was great in Colorado, and he had that time there, especially in his prime. He had that early to mid 20s as a second line center. So JT Compher, you've been doing your homework, Kyle. Look at you here in mid August, man. Here I am, just doing nothing but growing a beard and drinking beer. And you're doing your research, man. I'm proud of you.
I got to step it up, man. The show's, again, Trevor's got a lot to say, a bit emotional last couple weeks. Some people think you're leaving. Sometimes I think I don't know, like your life changes quick. So you could you're bouncing all over the place, but we'll talk about it. And because of what Trevor's got to say, I got to get better at what I'm doing now. Let's end it on this note, like 3 tiers of Aatu Räty, like where he could be. We talked about the high, we talked about the medium. I couldn't really think of a floor. I don't know. No, I don't know too many, because I want to envision this Vancouver Canucks team like eventually winning a Stanley Cup. So I'm looking at these players. I'm looking at Aatu Räty, one of our younger players. Some may still call him a prospect. Long term, if he's a fit with the Canucks and he reaches like a lower level of potential, but he's still effective. Like who is like the best 4th line center in hockey? Like, could he get there? Like, is there the only person I thought of, and I think this is doing a disservice to his defensive game, and this is a former Canuck, but it's peak Samuel Paulson. But who else could he be? Like, who is like, if Aatu Räty is a 4th line center or just like a mid-tier 3rd line center, he's still effective, but he's not as good as Pius Suter. Like, who is he?
Yeah, peak Sammy Paulson's an interesting one, man. I was trying to think of some of the best 4th line centers, and what came to my mind actually was like a really young Bo Horvat, right? And he was like 20, 21, 4th line center for that Vancouver Canucks team that was doing things, in the postseason during his rookie year. Obviously, Horvat was at a younger age, but man, oh man, that was like your definition of a best 4th line center. Like if that's Aatu Räty's peak, like just like a physical, sturdy, reliable 4th line guy who can chip in like 10 to 12 goals. I mean, look, I don't want to get negative, but that's realistically probably where Aatu Räty is. I'm a bigger believer in the guy, but if you look at like kind of like the statistics behind Räty, like where he's at this stage of his career, it's more likely or not that he's just like a really solid like number 3, number 4, that he has a top 6 guy. But I mean, there was a reason why he was one of the best prospects heading into that draft in 2021, up until his draft years. So like, I'm a big believer in Aatu Räty, man. And as you catch a break here, I'll try to keep sipping on my beer and keep brainstorming a couple more examples for you here on Locked On Canucks.
Okay, let us know in the comments who you'd compare Aatu Räty to, and I want to touch more on, like, again, him being a guarantee, like, to reaching like 84 overall, because I think this guy's dog in him. Okay, like, big time dog, and he's 22. Like, he's getting older, but he seems to just be clicking at the right time, and I wonder if it all comes together this season with more opportunity on your Vancouver Canucks. Let's cut to break. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. Do yourself a favor. Well, I guess do ourselves a favor. Well, do us a favor. Again, I got to get better at English. Happy wives, happy lives. Hit the like button, share the show. Boom, bam. We'll get back to you guys on the other side. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Trevor Beggs. You remember this one or what?
Of course, man. Of course. Yo, Monarch Money has changed my life, man. Okay. You don't have to worry anymore about spending, investments, tracking all that stuff, because Monarch Money does it all. Okay. It's your own personal CFO. And my favorite part about Monarch Money is not only can you track your own spending and your own investments all in one place, you can also do it with your partner too. And if you're an occasional listener or an everyday here on Locked On Canucks, you know that because of Monarch Money, I last 37 seconds longer in bed because the stress is gone, okay? My wife and I track our spending, our investments, all through Monarch Money. Man, oh man. And because of that, the stress level is ease. I last longer in bed. I'm now up to not just a minute. It's 66 seconds, baby. Come on.
Whoa.
Come on. Let's go.
That's effective.
And in terms of, with Monarch Money, you can get 50% off of your first year at monarchmoney.com. Use code LOCKEDONNHL. Again, for 50% off of your first year. Again, go visit them out. Go visit them. Go check them out. monarchmoney.com.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Trevor Beggs, second best dad in the world, 87th best podcast in the world. Kyle Bowen here as well, 88th best podcaster in the world.
87th. I'll take that, man. I'll take that.
We're getting better. You know, it is what it is. Got practice reps in, it is what it is. We're doing this, talking about your Canucks, and we're doing it with you and you and you and you. Let's get to your comment. Look at this one from Bobby Bluger, saying that, Aatu Räty could be, Malhotra 2.0, and Jay Schroed, gloating about Ratu's faceoffs, right? His faceoffs are amazing. Again, I think he's like well above 50% in the NHL. I could be wrong on that, but I think he's like 55 to 60% or 50.
I think it was 57 last season. I'm pretty sure he's at the 57 mark.
That's damn impressive. And, it's a big reason why he made the club too. And first of all, the Manny Malhotra comparison, that's the peak fourth line center. Like, I remember this guy is he's so effective, defensive stalwart. Is that the saying? Just a guy that could do it all. And I know the Canucks made the Cup Finals without him, and they lost the Cup Finals with him. Not the two aren't connected, but just a bit of storytelling there. But Manny Malhotra is like, I'd take that guy at 4 years. I think he was getting paid like $2.5 million a year, or maybe like $2 million a year, or maybe it was like 1 point, whatever the economics were back in the day. I would take Manny Malhotra any day of the week. Like, peak Manny Malhotra is on my hockey team.
100%. I think that's a great one too. Is again, Manny Malhotra never quite developed the offensive game, obviously, right? I do, and this is why I am a bigger believer in Aatu Räty maybe than most or than the standard. Is because I think there's more offense to his game, and we saw it last season, right? 7 goals, 11 points in 33 games. That's roughly like a 16 goal, 35 point pace right there for a guy who was a part-time NHL player. But the defensive floor is really important, man. And, the fact that he can win faceoffs and the shit he does in terms of switching his stick, winning on his backhand on the right side, I mean, that's incredible, man. Like, there's, I can't even, I don't know if I can name 10 NHL players doing that.
He's the Elon Musk of hockey, based on technology and innovation, bro. Like, the switching your hands in the faceoff dot and being able to do so with effectiveness. That's like, the invention of the electric car, So, yeah, Aatu Räty is that guy. And, you keep talking about his, you have a you have high hopes for his offense, and bro, like he's just gotten better. I mean, his first year in Abbotsford, he has 52 points in 72 games. As what would that be like? Him being a 20 to 21-year-old, like, or maybe
Yeah.
like a 21-year-old full time actually. And then this past season in Abbotsford, he has 40 points in 43 games, including 17
Yeah.
goals. Whereas in 72 the year before, he had 18. Like he was smashing his own personal records. And I know we played a lot of garbage time in Vancouver, like towards the end of the year, and maybe it's easier to produce some offense here and there. But I still look back at like that goal he scored against Pittsburgh in November, the game we got dominated in. The Canucks scored a couple nice goals. Check out Quinn's from that game as well. But Raty just going bar down and just having some cerebralness. And we talk about this guy getting better and better, and being a guy that had pedigree back in the day, top 5 pedigree, and the fact that he's given his ego a check if he ever had one, and just been able to work hard and not dwell on not being a top guy anymore, and again get better, it leads me to believe that there's a chance when he puts it together that inner confidence will spark what he once had, and maybe he'll start feeling like he's won. This sounds crazy, but confidence is everything. Like maybe there's a recipe there where he starts feeling like he can do this, and B, I can be one of the better players in the NHL. Like I can be with these guys and tap into my instincts and be a dog. And I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I don't know if he has the wingers to do it this season, but if he gets better and is able to do play driving on his own, like if he's paired up with the Brad Marchand or somebody like that down the road, like, is he a guy that's averaging just under a point per game in the playoffs? Is he a guy that puts up 50 points in the regular season? I'm going to say probably.
I like it, man. I like it. Yo, Kyle Ballin, man. Oh, my positivity is rubbing off on you, man. What happened to me being the darkest guy on the program, bro?
Well, when we're distant, like when you're not when we're not breathing the same, my air's a little bit cleaner since you're in Ottawa right now,
Yeah, it's a little hot and humid here, man. It's sticky. It's sticky for sure.
It's sticky here too, man. I'm sweaty. Like, dude, I'm sweaty right now, man. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I'm in love, buddy. I got a girl, man. I could, where am I going with it? Oh, it's Valentine's Day every day for me, Trevor. That's all I'm saying.
There we go.
Well, that's why I'm being Aatu Räty, because I got, love around me. So I was talking highly about Kiefer Sherwood, and now I'm talking highly about Aatu Räty because A, maybe I'm desperate, or B, I'm seeing this for what it is.
All right, man. Well, speaking of Kiefer Sherwood, I'm going to run one thing by you, and then after the break, I want to talk about one other potential comparable, and I want to ask about your life, man, because, man, I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the line next season, man, we've been talking about it all off season. What is the ideal maker for this forward group? And it depends what Pettersson looks like and blah, blah, blah. But I know that you and I both really like the idea of a Sherwood, Joshua, Raty line, right? And, of course, Joshua's gone now. What about a Kane, Raty, Sherwood line? Of course, it's going to depend what the guys above them can do. But I love how physical that trio was with Joshua towards the end of last season. And I just wonder, man, I'm dreaming, man. It's August. I'm drinking, man. Life is good. Ooh. Maybe that trio of Kane, Sherwood, and Raty can be like that Lundell, Marchand, Lucier. Come on, just get physical, man. Like, just bully guys in the playoffs, man. Like, they got the potential to do it, right? I mean, who knows what Kane's going to be like? If you've been listening to the show, if you're an everyday or an occasional, so I have not been the biggest fan of that Kane move. But the idea of putting 3 physical guys on the same line to just bully guys and make life tough for the opponent, that really appeals to me, man. And I think there could be some juice there.
Well, dude, now that you bring that up, and maybe like this was my pessimistic attitude leading to my vision being a bit blurry, but during that stretch of Canucks games, and there's a lot of stressful ones where the Canucks couldn't just get the job done, too many injuries, too much this, too much that. There was that game against Columbus where they blew like multiple 3-goal leads, and you know who was really good in that game for the Canucks? It was Dakota Joshua paired with Aatu Räty. Like, Raty stepped up to the plate and did his thing, and that was a big part of 2 goals in that game. And I don't know if you've been doing a little bit of snooping, but I saw something after that Kiefer Sherwood episode that made me think about this too. And let's get to it. I made a new segment, okay? Not comment of the day, but comment of the yesterday. okay, this is part of the show where we're going to shed a spotlight on some of the best comments from a previous episode to get involved so you can be featured. And maybe one day you'll win $18 billion. Who knows? Trevor and I got decisions, bro. Like, who knows what the future's going to hold for us, yo? Anyways, this was on our last video where we talked about Kiefer Sherwood. I think the name is Nit Sanakos 7439. If I can read that correctly, he or she is saying, I love the idea of playing Sherwood and Kane on the same line. I had them with Elias Pettersson, but this guy or this person is saying center them with Aatu Räty. Okay, they're full of grit, they're tough, and it would be hard for any team to play against that. And Trevor, again, I don't know if that's your burner account, but they were agreeing with you.
No, man. As much as I love the Greeks, man, that wouldn't be my burner account. But I'm glad to see that people are on the same page. And this is a smart hockey market. Like, they're seeing, Kyle, what you and I saw at the end of last season, where Joshua, Raty, and Sherwood were just effing fun out there, man. Throwing hits, dummying guys, kind of creating some stuff on offense, getting some lighter matchups, being able to take advantage of that. So yeah, I'm a fan of it, man. I'm a fan. That's a great dude. You've been working, man. I've been doing nothing but stroking off here and drinking beer, and there you are, just creating new segments, man. I'm proud. I'm cut the break, man. I can cry for that. So proud.
Well, I hope your golf game is improving. Anyways, we'll get to the other side and read some comments. Again, you're listening and watching Locked On Canucks. Actually, we have another sponsor, bro. Trevor, you're usually doing this, okay? So I think this, you know what? Let's press a button. There's technical difficulties. This is what happens when Trevor's in Ottawa, and we'll be back. Today's episode is also brought to you by Indeed. Trevor, I doubt you know this one by heart, man.
Well, it depends if it's changed or not, man. But, with Indeed, I know that if you're hiring or looking for a job, you need to use Indeed. And especially if you're hiring, man, Indeed is all you need, baby. Because if you're an employer, you use Indeed, and that's the way to find candidates fast, man. Lightning fast. So fast that I made jokes about it that I shouldn't make, but Indeed, again, if you're looking for jobs, they got millions of quality candidates out there for you to choose. And I know, Kyle, you can tell me if I'm wrong, man, but Indeed, they had the $75 sponsored job credit. Yeah. So if you're posting a job on Indeed, you get 75 buckaroonies from Indeed by going to Indeed.com/lockedon, baby. Indeed, again, man, oh man, I may be entering some job changes in the next little bit, and if I was changing jobs, if I was hiring, if I was looking for jobs, I'd be using Indeed, man. They are the cream of the crop in terms of looking for work, in terms of hiring. So make sure you go to Indeed.com/lockedon and claim your $75 sponsored job credit to find beauties like Kyle and myself. That's Indeed.com/lockedon for your $75 sponsored job credit, baby.
Okay, we back doing this, about to end the show. Again, another episode of Locked On Canucks hitting you in the face. My name's Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs. One love to the Don't Doze Art Lab. Again, do us all a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe. But this is the home of the West Coast Bias. Speaking of which, dude, Uncle Strut, man, we keep talking about it every day. This is not an advertisement. This is a cosign, and this is because we take care of the West Coast. Go listen to some Uncle Strut today. Trevor has an announcement to make. We'll do that sometime, in the next couple of weeks, and it's gonna be an emotional one, man. One that, I thought it was impossible, man, but it's gonna make everything either a little bit better, a little bit worse, Trevor, because maybe you'll replace me. Sometimes I go to. We'll talk about it more when we make the announcement, but I've been having nightmares like, maybe Trevor's gonna, make a couple new friends. That's okay. So I got to go to therapy and make sure I'm strong for you, because interesting things are coming.
Kyle, you know what, man? I'll never forget you, brother, man. You pulled me out in the first day of journalism because I said I like the Canucks, and here we are, man. 25 years later, man. Yeah, we're actually both 44, believe it or not. So, Okay, two things on my mind with Aatu Räty before we get out of here, man. And Kyle, tell me a little about your life, man, because I feel like it's been a little while. This isn't the best comparable, but I started thinking about the 2014-15 Canucks, and how about Nick Bonino.
Was that racist?
What? Dude, that was one of the best calls of all time, man. Come on. That's come on. That's one of the best calls of all time, dude. That might be my favorite hockey call. Aside from Slay the Dragon, that Bonino goal might be my favorite call of all time.
Legend. Harner Ryan saying, right? And Harner Ryan saying he wrote a book. I read it like really, really quickly because I'm just a hockey nerd. Really, really good book. Shout out to Harner Ryan. And Harner Ryan, again, I know we're talking about Aatu Räty, but I actually think Harner Ryan has gotten, like, maybe it's because I read the book where I can like listen to his broadcast with more not ease, but it's entertainment. Sometimes you like things, sometimes you don't. It's not being mean. It is what it is. But nowadays I'm like, yo, this guy's emerging, doing this thing. So shout out to Harner Ryan.
Yeah.
That being said, Nick Bonino, that's a good one too. One too. I think I would put Nick Bonino, because again, peak Nick Bonino helped a team win Stanley Cups.
Yeah, and he was a serviceable second line center in Vancouver, right? And a great third line center on Stanley Cup winning teams. Like, I think that's attainable for Aatu Räty, and I think really the only difference in their games is the fact that Nick Bonino is not a physical player, and Aatu Räty is. But does he have the same wherewithal, the same smarts? I think that's going to come with time, right? He's a pretty young guy still. But man, I think Aatu Räty could become like a more physical Nick Bonino. Like, you've done well with that trade. You've done well with keeping Aatu Räty in your organization. And then the last point I want to make on Aatu Räty, I know there was some trepidation about the contract he signed. Some of the guys in mainstream media in Vancouver saying, "Oh, shouldn't have been a 3-year deal. I would have liked to see that." But the fact that we got this guy locked up for 2 years at a league minimum, when he's likely to be an NHL player for those 2 seasons, I did think that was great work by LV. And again, you can quibble with the fact that it's 2 years, not 3 years. But man, oh man, to get a player like that who's shown some potential, who should be in your NHL lineup, again, for league minimum, that's some great work, man. And maybe this week, Kyle, if I can swing it, I do want to kind of go through the Canucks contracts. I know the Athletic had their ranking of the Canucks contracts and the kind of where they were league-wide. But that Aatu Räty one is a great deal by Patrick Allvin. And again, I expect Aatu Räty to absolutely outperform that deal.
That's an interesting point. Again, like, even I was listening to a lot of Thomas Drance, and I'm like, yo, why didn't they just like maybe take the risk and like give Räty like 6 years and give him like 3 or whatever? And maybe it allowed me not to look at the 2-year deal as a bit of a win. But there is positives in that, because if Aatu Räty's a 30-point guy this year, but playing like 14 to 15 minutes and still 50% above the faceoff dot, like that's so much value. And then that pretty much guarantees next year, like, it's still gonna be good too. And end of the day, maybe him and his team didn't want to sign the 3 or 6 year deal because they think that he's, got some extra juice in him. And it's definitely something to hope for. That I think it's twofold, right? Like, because again, I wanted the Canucks to go long term on him just to be a little conservative, but at the same time take a risk. But if he does earn himself like $6 million, that type of extension down the road, it's a good problem to have, Trevor.
100%, man. 100%. So, Aatu Räty, I'm excited about him, man. The next JT Miller or the next Nick Bonino confirmed here on Locked On Canucks.
I want to ask one more question, though. Because I assumed you're going to sign out there being the professional you are. Speaking of the professional, look at Adam saying that Trevor, you got to shave, man. It's too damn hot out. Yo, maybe he can't shave because Trevor's new future is like not allowing him to do that. Maybe Trevor's maybe Trevor's an actor, right? We don't know. Anyways, you brought up Kiefer Sherwood, and I talked about Kiefer Sherwood on the last episode. Go check it out, right? I talked about, the Canucks need to sign him now. Just ended on this note, because I guess there is a little bit of a connection between Räty and Sherwood if you see them playing together. Yanni Gourde signed, what did he sign? Like an 8-year deal worth like,
I think it was like 6 years, 2.6, I want to say.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Would you give Sherwood 6 years at like 3.5 or close? Could you see something like that happen to keep that number down if you do assume Sherwood is still going to be a 40 to 50 point guy, leading the team in heads, being a nuisance, being one of Quinn Hughes' favorite players, being effective in the playoffs? Like, could they do what I wanted them to do with Räty to Sherwood?
I could see them doing that. Man, 6 years at 3.5, eh? I would want to see him continue to do that for another like 20, 30, maybe even half a season. Like if he keeps doing that with the cap going up the way it is, yeah, I would absolutely do that. But I don't believe Kiefer Sherwood is a one-hit wonder. But when you're giving him a 6-year deal at $3.5 million per season, I would like to see him keep doing that again for another probably 20 to 40 games before I'd be comfortable with that contract.
Damn, you got to write an article and write Kiefer Sherwood isn't a one-hit wonder. That'd be like, yo, bro.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yo, steal that one, dude. Steal it. Hey, Chris Faber, don't steal that one, buddy. Unreal, dude. Hey, congrats to Chris Faber. He's a daddy now, too. So, Chris Faber, the inventor of Vancouver Canucks podcasting. I don't know. That's what I think. I don't know. My vision's a little blurry post-COVID, you know? So, congratulations to that guy. One love to everyone. One love to everyone in the market. One love to all the people listening to this. You and you and you and you and you and you. Again, happy wives, happy lives. Me and Trevor are both in love. Every time you hit the like button, dude, you don't even want to know what that does for the woman in our lives.
Yeah, I need those likes, man, because I just kind of snuck away. I went inside because my 2-year-old went inside with my 8-year-old nephew. And the next thing I know, I saw you're podcasting. So I just was kind of walking back and forth. And then my wife came out, and then I just I'm like, oh, you got it. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
I need the likes, man. I need the likes. Baby, look what we're doing here. Come on.
Exactly. We're changing lives. Anyways, again, spread all that love, and Bagsy, sign us out.
Hey, one love to you and you and you. One love to you, Kyle Bowen, man. Keep holding on the fort here on Locked On Canucks, making new segments, doing the research, and man, oh man, you know that Kyle and I, we freaking love what we do, man. I almost swear there because I love this, man. We live the dream, getting to talk hockey to you and you and you every day. So if you like what we're doing, share the pod with a friend. You can subscribe and like on YouTube. It helps us out a lot, man. It helps keep my wife being like, okay, keep doing this, baby. And on the podcast side, if you're audio only, just go follow us. Leave a 5-star review if you feel so inclined. It helps us out a lot. Man, oh man, I'll be back this week at some point, man. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, who knows. But enjoy the summer, and we'll talk to you soon here on Locked On Canucks.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.